This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Hey, Tuesday afternoon, welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perletti, Nick Perletti, and we have a plethora of goodies for you today on our program. First, we want to thank our fine sponsors, Taco John's of Cheyenne. And again, remember the food truck over in the south side parking lot over there at the Outlaw Saloon while they're rebuilding the South Greeley address. Remember, 2 words for Tuesday. Taco Tuesday at all Taco John's of Cheyenne. Key of Cheyenne over on Nationway 19s. Move them on out. The 20s are arriving. And again, too, you're going to find some sensational savings plans going on right now. Yeah, AJ, he has he's put some good savings plans in place on the remaining 19s on the lot over at Key of Cheyenne on Nationway. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Again, you can do the high technology thing. You can do the good old-fashioned customer service thing. Everything in between as well, too. And again, we're talking home loans, remodeling loans, auto loans, HELOCs, all for you at Platte Valley Bank, located on Banda High and at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, right across from Powers Field, and, of course, from Menards. On the menu, and it's going to be around for a while, their mac and cheese, hopefully it will be a permanent fixture. And for a limited time, enjoy their frosted caramel coffee. Now, again, you're going to Chick-fil-A for 3 squares Monday through Saturday. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Ray and Cindy invite you to come on by inside, or you can use a convenient drive-through over at Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Delrange. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs with your doctor's prescription. See Gene and the great staff today inside over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse, or you can use the convenient drive-thru as well. Medicap Pharmacy, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Lennox Auto Body, the Auto and Truck Repair Center, Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Remember, over there on Pershing Boulevard, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean. Part of Lennox Enterprises, serving our community for a quarter century. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. And again, offering some fantastic CD rates. Hey, they're co-sponsoring the End to Alzheimer's Walk. That's coming up on Saturday, September 28th. That will be in Lions Park. Do check that out. For more information, you can contact the Alzheimer's Association here in town. Get a hold of our good friend Janet Lewis. Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Again, Paisan cuisine at its best. 4 decades, Joe and the family and all of his great staff have been serving that delicious pie along with the strombolis, the calzones, delicious sandwiches, always on fresh baked bread, all ingredients fresh, always delicious. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. And it's scoreboard time, albeit brief for Nick on his side. We'll start things off with him, and our scoreboard is brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Well, eventually it'll ramp up a bit once we get into hockey season, but unfortunately we're still far away from that. But at least reminding folks, again, no LCCC action for today or to recap, but at least reminding folks coming up this Friday here on 1480 KRAE, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and also video live streaming as we do on Periscope, which you can find via Twitter, and also to the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. We will have Cheyenne South for the first time this season as they play host to Casper Kelly Walsh. Both teams looking for their first win here in 2019, so which one will get it? Hopefully it will be those South High Fighting Bison as they play host again at 6 o'clock kickoff, 5:30 pregame show here, tentative on 1480 KRAE. Looking forward to it. Again, a clash coming up this Friday.
Major League Baseball at Comerica, the Motor City Kitties of Detroit at 4:40 will entertain the New York Yankees. Elsewhere, the Bravos and the Phillies will hook up again at Citizens Bank Ballpark. Dodgers-Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Red Sox, Blue Jays in the Rogers Center in the 5 o'clock hour. Also in the 5 o'clock hour will be the Diamondbacks and the Mets at Citi Field. Brewers-Marlins will hook up at Marlins Park in Miami. 5:40, the Twins will entertain the Nationals. That will be at Target Field, interleague play. Rays and the Rangers in the 6 o'clock hour at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Royals-White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. The Athletics and the Astros will hook up at Minute Maid. Just a little sidebar, as the Astros won 15-zip last night, and they beat Seattle the day before 21-1. 36 runs over their last 16 innings. Wow, they are on a hot streak right now. Also in the 6 o'clock hour at 6:40, the Rockies in Coors tonight will entertain the St. Louis Cardinals. Michael Walk on the hill for the Redbirds. Chichi Gonzalez, who is 0-for. He's 0-6, 7.29 ERA on the rubber for the Rocks. Pirates Giants tonight in San Francisco at Oracle Park. Johnny Cueto will return in a Giants uniform for this evening. Might be the only start we see all season long. In the 8 o'clock hour, Indians Angels at Angel Stadium, Anaheim. Cubs of the Padres at 8:10 at Petco. And it will be the Reds and the Mariners in interleague play at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. Scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Alright, if you're a gamer, you know the world of gaming is full of amazing gear. Portable cannons, flying tanks, whoa, like that one, mythic artifacts. But the most advanced tool in gaming today isn't even in the game. It's right in your hand. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel is purpose-built for gaming, created with pro gamers for gamers. What does that mean? It means it's formulated with ingredients that have been shown to improve accuracy, whoa, and alertness. And Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel tastes great too. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel even comes in a special can with a uniquely textured grip, so it's easy to refuel between respawns. The ones you're furiously trying to avoid? Hey, there we go. So next time you log online, gear up. Get the drink designed for gaming. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
The message is simple. Drive sober or get pulled over. If you drink and drive, remember it's illegal and it can cost you your freedom or worse, your life. It's been determined that a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or more can impair you considerably when you are behind the wheel. Financially, it can devastate you if you get arrested. More importantly, it could result in losing a friend or a family member. That price is too high to pay. Call a designated driver after enjoying a night out and get home safe. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds. First Tier Bank is proud to team up again with the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. You're invited to join and participate in the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer event on Saturday, September 28th. Registration begins at 10:30 in the morning at Lions Park at the South Picnic Shelter. For more information, contact Janet Lewis at 307-287-6569 or go online to alz.org/walk to learn more. We'll see you Saturday, September 28th at Lions Park for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, brought to you by the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association and First Tier Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. Under the definition of fun in the dictionary, they need to include 2 more words: Wyoming Downs. It's the perfect way to have fun with new and even more exciting simulcasting games on display, including Classic Heat, Great American Racing, Samurai Legacy, plus the Great Jackpot. That's just a sampling of fun that's happening today at Wyoming Downs. Make sure to get your player's card to enjoy triple points on Sundays, double points on Mondays, plus other special promotions going on at Wyoming Downs, with 2 fun locations in the Cheyenne Plaza at 3617 East Lincoln Way and at the Outlaw Saloon at 312 South Greeley Highway. Remember, for more information, go to wydowns.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 78 and winds out of the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. If it's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 51. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 73. And on Wednesday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 46.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, Tuesday afternoon. Larry Proetti, along with Nick Proetti. Our first guest, she is the head volleyball coach at Laramie County Community College. We welcome her back in studio, Keri Coates. Coach, good to have you back in studio, and let's talk about your team. Not going to get into the record because, that's not even Region 9 play. We'll worry about Region 9 play when we get to it. But let's talk about the development of the team right now. And again, too, you've kind of thrown your young ladies into the fire. I mean, with the scheduling, this has been a power-packed schedule, but let's talk about the development. What are you seeing right now in your ladies?
Just really good grind from all of them. Impressed with just the continuous buy-in and trusting the process. It's been tough for the last 3 weeks of just traveling and playing top 20, top 10 opponents every weekend and watching them do everything they're asked to do and just barely falling short almost every time.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a power-packed schedule again for road trips of going to Iowa Western for first four. Not a whole lot of home contests again. Lone was August 27th against Northeastern, who was a ranked opponent as well, too, coming up to Cheyenne, seeing Western Nebraska. But trips out to see the likes of Snow College out in Arizona, part of that Dalton Overstreet Invitational, Twin Falls, Idaho of recent, again, where you see the ever lovely opponent of College of Southern Idaho, and again, we know how their athletics are up there, and again, good teams throughout their entire athletics, but it has certainly been, non-conference-wise, a very tough schedule for LCCC, but getting these looks for your young athletes, again, these who you brought in to play for LCCC, is it something that they can kind of take away, learn from these top 25 teams, kind of garner some sort of experience of looking at, okay, this is what College of Southern Idaho does. Okay, let's try and use this in our play for Region 9 conference when we get to that here later this month.
Yeah. I think it does them a disservice if we don't get some experience nationally as soon as we possibly can, because our region is a little different than the way other regions play. Our ultimate goal is to make it back to national tournament, and I would hate for the girls to just be shocked by the competition that they see. So the more I can put them in the face of some of those tougher opponents that are consistently at the top of the leaderboard, the better off we are at the end of the day. Just we're working really hard right now, and they're going to see how it's going to pay off regionally for us.
Coach, what have you learned thus far in your first season, again, at the collegiate level? And again, you've been there, you've did it, you've done it as far as a player. Now as the head coach, what have you learned?
I think a lot of it is just reminding myself our inexperience and just kind of the volleyball IQ of it and how I need to keep training that part of it. As I break down more and more film and really look at stats and scout opponents and just take my time to really understand how our strengths match up against another team. And that's why this week has been kind of crucial for us to slow down just a little bit, take practice time to really work on individual skill and understand the game and not just expect that we need to go do this, we need to go do that. I like to teach. I like to show them a little bit more, and now that we have a chance to slow it down, I feel like that's the part of my job that says let's really make sure we're where we need to be.
Now, we were talking off air, as you mentioned, you had one young lady from Serbia. Our young lady that we're going to be talking to in just a few minutes is from Brazil. Volleyball is volleyball, again, as I recall from my young days and your playing days. But is there a different type of play, European style, or even Central America or South America?
Yeah, I think so. It's just different types of a little bit slower, higher ball that you see with some of them, not realizing how much the transition game matters. So it's kind of a one-and-done attack that you see a lot of times, and here you have a lot of people who play really aggressive, scrappy defense, and so we have to have hitters who can block and come right back off the net and go right back up again. And so the speed of the game is really just kind of what takes a little bit of adjusting. And then ultimately that language barrier is kind of an issue to begin with as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, again, as we talked about with you, at least Keri, again, been there, did it, done it as a player, but now stepping into this new venture as head coach on the JUCO side here with LCCC. At least so far on the season, did at least get one victory against South Mountain Community College out there in Prescott, Arizona, part of that Dalton Overstreet Invitational. Talk to us at least kind of the emotion side, or at least you, again, just break it down kind of not so much the coaching side, but more as just a human element of you getting that first win under your belt as a head coach in the JUCO ranks.
I do think that the season kind of came up really fast on us, so it's almost like you didn't have time to slow down and really enjoy that part. But it was exciting. I had to remind myself that this is what I really love to do, and being in these tournaments has been fun, just to stay in the gym and watch others play, and then be the ones watching my team warm up and getting excited about the stuff that we practice and seeing it really happen. So while the win feels good in that, it's kind of more of the individual little plays that happen within a match that make you go, yes, oh my gosh, and seeing the stats change, recognizing different people are, contributing in different ways and we have kill leaders, but we have supporters, we have such good defense, we have some really good ball control, and just watching that kind of stuff is probably the most rewarding part right now.
I think back when you came in as the new head coach at LCCC, you were forced to hit the ground running. And again, really, it's almost like you didn't even have a chance to catch your breath. I mean, you still had your bags packed and you were out running around trying to get players. But now that you've had an opportunity to work with your team, and again, freshmen and those that remain as the sophomores, the mesh between the freshmen and sophomores right now, are you seeing that team building?
I think it started off really strong, and just like any team, whether they're successful or struggling, and that the first couple of weeks you start to see a little bit of it kind of change because they're tired and that, and we've worked really well through that. I've been impressed with our leadership just trying to keep us going. We have a good group of captains that are trying to do everything I ask them to do and be that extension of a coaching staff. So you can see it starting to come together, and even though our trips have been kind of long and draining, I'm starting to see a little bit more of that bonding where you have them giggling at the little stuff. They're awake way too late on the bus kind of thing and laughing at each other, and videos that they post and the pictures they're taking. So you can tell that it's starting to meld in terms of just enjoying each other. Also, too, having that college background behind you, what did you tell the incoming freshmen? Because, again, too, this is different. This is not high school. This is collegiate athletics, and a lot of time is in practice and games and time away from school, but you need to be in your class. Yeah, so just understanding how to prioritize and make sure we stay organized with our time in that. And then knowing it's no excuse anymore. It's on you. You're the adult now kind of deal. And so we've had some tough practices once in a while where you kind of have to be on their case a little bit about earning it and going after it hard every day, and it's not just about you kind of thing. It's a team thing, and they all know that, but it's easier said than done at the end of the day. So just continuous learning there.
As we talk about it, you've put on a lot of miles here early into this 2019 campaign. Here right now, after coming off that lengthy road trip up to Twin Falls, Idaho, seeing those 4 contests this past weekend, but now you have a nice lengthy break here until you get back at it here in the 17th, back here at home against Otero Junior College, and we'll talk more about that game and what kind of special meaning it does have as well too. But what's kind of the focus here with this week off, so to speak, no contest? Is it, again, giving student athletes a break off here a couple days, or kind of easy on the practice? What's kind of the focus here?
I think it's maybe a little bit of a slower practice for a couple of things, just so we can really tweak a few every so often. But we've actually had to start adding in a little bit more of our weight training too. You can just tell, being on the road so much and playing back to back. Last Saturday we played 9 straight sets, so that's kind of where we understand now our conditioning and our strength has to play a role in that as well. So we're slowing down enough to be able to add some of that training in, as well as get back on academics and start paying attention to a few of the little details so they don't nag us as the season goes on.
What have you noticed, again, going back to your playing days as opposed now as the head coach, and again, in your first season with LCCC, has the game changed much since you played?
I don't know that it's changed a ton. I think it's gotten a little faster.
As we hear the words bigger, right, stronger, faster.
always faster. And I think that there are athletes out there that just, like you just said, they jump higher, they're stronger, and everybody's getting taller kind of thing. So it's a little bit different, but I think the mentality is still the same in terms of how to score points and that you're looking for open court and you've got to have ball control and a good serve and serve receive. And that part of the game I don't think will ever change. So
We're talking with Keri Coates, head coach of the LCCC women's volleyball program. Nick?
Do want to mention again as we talk about the next game for LCCC coming up at least next Tuesday, September 17th, 6 o'clock there live at the rack, where, again, for LCCC, haven't had a whole lot of home cooking this season, but you'll at least start getting into it as we now transition to Region 9 play. But Otero Junior College coming up to Cheyenne to play this at least upcoming Tuesday. A little special event as it happened last year, again, continuing on the tradition for this season. Spike Out Polio is going to be at least attributed to this contest. Coach, just talk a little bit more about that contest with Otero at least next Tuesday.
Yeah, we're excited to have this one be kind of our first home contest that has some community involvement attached to it as well, not just that we're playing a home match. Otero has been strong, and I think they're about 7-4 or something right now, and have taken out some tough teams and competed well. So having them come in, it's just like our other 2 home matches. I know it's going to be another dogfight for us to go after, and that's why we scheduled them. NJC, Western Nebraska, and Otero were the 3 that from the south that we definitely needed to play this year, and it's shown that those were good choices. So just excited to have hopefully a good fan base, just like the last 2 really gets us going. Our girls have played so well at home, and we want it to be a good community event for us to do our part and kind of prepare our girls for what continues to come, because that next weekend for the Wild Nebraska is going to be tough again. So
and we'll certainly at least promote that once we get more information. Send that on the social media sites as well too, of how to attend that game, and also to what kind of goes into with all that for that LCCC contest again next Tuesday, September 17th, 6 o'clock there live at the rack.
Final thought from me, Coach. And again, I know the old adage, you take them one game at a time and you try to get as much info on your opponent as you can. Have you snuck away from that next opponent and kind of kept your eye a little bit on what to expect from Region 9 North?
Yeah. I definitely, I'm always prepared or looking at who we have, but I'm keeping tabs on what the North has been doing, because I need to know. Central Wyoming pulled out a huge win against College of Southern Idaho, and so that's where you start to go, okay, well, let's look at that. And Eastern Wyoming has proven to be strong right out of the gates. So keeping their records in mind, starting to look at rosters and stats just to kind of know. And every so often we have some of them at some of the tournaments we've been at, so you peek over to their court and just make sure that you're just aware of what's coming for us.
I'm always curious too, because with basketball or football, you can do the scouting thing and you can set your lineups to combat that particular team. In volleyball, you have your 6 on the floor, but the question is, when you scout we'll use Eastern Wyoming for example, how can you do the chess match, so to speak, against that team?
Yeah. So the funny thing is the net separates the 2 teams, so you almost forget that you're matched up against certain lineups. But if you can pay attention to how long certain players are in the front row for, you want to know that if they have their strongest hitters in the front row for 2 rotations with our strongest block. So as much as we can do that kind of stuff, but it also has to be about our consistency and what lineup we start best in, who's our best server and that. So you kind of match a little bit, but we can't change too much in terms of let's run this defense. We need to be consistent with the way that we play our game and kind of funnel them into what we want to do. So we scout and we pay attention to top people and kind of try to pick out the 3 that we should pay attention to the most and do our best to shut one of them down. If we can take one of them out of it, it's just going to be that much easier for us at the end of the day.
Well, Coach, we wish you all the best. Thank you again for coming in and talking with us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Keri Coates, LCCC women's volleyball coach, is joining us here. When we come back, we're going to talk to Kalme Moncavo, as she will be joining us, one of the star players on the Lady Golden Eagles, and we'll chat with her right after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy, we'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Hi, this is Dr. Ruby Zubrod with Brandt Audiology and Tinnitus, reminding you to hear the sounds of nature. Plan your next hunting trip to protect your hearing from the damage that comes from the harmful muzzle blasts by using good hearing protection. Brandt Audiology and Tinnitus can help with basic custom-fit earplugs to devices that can protect your hearing while allowing speech and sound to filter through. Call us at 307-426-4327 to make an appointment today or visit our website at brandtaudiology.com.
Taco Tuesday is calling.
Tuesday!
That's the sound of tacos packed with seasoned beef and classic toppings for an amazing price. Save on seasoned beef tacos every Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. Craver Savers.
Crunching.
Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
Answer the call of Taco Tuesday with 89-cent seasoned beef tacos every Taco Tuesday.
At Platte Valley Bank, we love to see our customers come through the door. Well, we know life can be busy and you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking products with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, mobile deposit, and now digital wallet. At Platte Valley Bank, you can manage your money how you want, when you want. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC. Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. This week's Super Radio buys heard only right here feature Jose Cuervo Gold or Silver Tequila, 1.75-liter bottle, $27.89. Miller High Life or Miller High Life Light, 30-pack, 12-ounce cans, $19.49. And Black Velvet Canadian Whiskey, 1.75-liter bottle, $12.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader. The message is simple. Drive sober or get pulled over. If you drink and drive, remember it's illegal and it can cost you your freedom or worse, your life. It's been determined that a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or more can impair you considerably when you are behind the wheel. Financially, it can devastate you if you get arrested. More importantly, it could result in losing a friend or a family member. That price is too high to pay. Call a designated driver after enjoying a night out and get home safe. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds. Under the definition of fun in the dictionary, they need to include 2 more words. Wyoming Downs. It's the perfect way to have fun with new and even more exciting simulcasting games on display, including Classic Heat, Great American Racing, Samurai Legacy, plus the Great Jackpot. That's just a sampling of fun that's happening today at Wyoming Downs. Make sure to get your player's card to enjoy triple points on Sundays, double points on Mondays, plus other special promotions going on at Wyoming Downs, with 2 fun locations in the Cheyenne Plaza at 3617 East Lincoln Way and at the Outlaw Saloon at 312 South Greeley Highway. Remember, for more information, go to wydowns.com.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Peretti and Nick Peretti and our very special guests, Kalme Moncavo from Brazil. And we are going to ask all the basic questions so we make Kalme feel really, relaxed here. First off, are you a freshman?
Yes.
You're a freshman, okay. And what part of Brazil are you from?
I'm from Rio de Janeiro.
So you had
kind of a big difference going from Rio all the way to here, the small town of city of Cheyenne.
But let me ask her the question, though. So you were in Rio. Did you have the opportunity when the Olympics were there, the Summer Games, did you have a chance to go and watch some of the games?
Yes, I watched a few games.
Yeah, that's neat. Were you there for the volleyball?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to go out on a limb on that one. All right, so you are here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. You're a freshman.
Yes.
And, again, playing for Coach Coates. So tell us what you're majoring in at LCCC.
My major is social science.
All right. Next, I'll let you sneak in now.
So at least we get the little background. Just talk about at least, again, going from Brazil across, you're talking a different hemisphere, or at least going across the equator to get up and play JUCO, at least volleyball here at the city of Cheyenne with LCCC. How did that come about? How did you get recruited, and why LCCC?
I played last season for YOSA. It's a volleyball club here. And I met Coach Keri there, and we started talking, and then I went to LCCC, and I knew the college and the girls, and I had practice there, and I was like so excited to go there and to be part of this family.
So it was just an easy choice of, hey, you're already accustomed to it, and you might as well just commit to LCCC. Now, going from at least the coastline there at Rio to here we are, 6,000 feet elevation here in the city of Cheyenne. Was there ever an issue with elevation? Get over that, again, getting into practice of running back and forth. Did you feel the elevation when you got up here?
Yes, I felt so much the elevation when I came here. The first time we had to run a mile, I couldn't breathe. It was like so weird.
Without a doubt, again, it's always interesting of hearing those folks from the coastlines coming up to the elevation of just dealing with that. But at this point in time, again, you got a lot of contests under your belt. You've been all over the place, whether it is up in Idaho, played some games here, down in Arizona. You feel like you're accustomed, got used to the elevation. You got the at least stamina, so to speak, at least to continue on here in 2019. You feel like you're kind of elevating that game up?
Yes, I feel the elevation's not like more a problem. So now we can I can play better and like improve every game, and I think it's going to be fine.
Well, give us a background as well too. Before you got to LCCC, obviously you've spent playing at least volleyball in kind of the high school ranks. But how early on, how young have you been playing volleyball?
I have been playing volleyball for 6 years.
6 years at this point in time.
Yeah, it's a lot. But in Brazil, we don't play like high school volleyball. It's kind of clubs, and okay. I have been playing for 6 years. So. Did
you play any other at least sports down there in Brazil outside of volleyball?
Yeah, I played handball like 2 years, but volleyball it's my way.
Let me ask you this question. Again, you come from Rio de Janeiro.
Yes.
Again, beautiful city.
Yes.
And you come to the city of Cheyenne. Not that I'm knocking our city. But again, there's so much going on in Rio. Cheyenne kind of shuts the doors by about 9, 10 o'clock at night. Why to the sleepy community of Cheyenne from Rio?
It's a big difference, but I think the best part of come here is because I can focus and like play volleyball and have a good grades in college. So I think it's a good deal for me now.
Don't have the outside distractions.
But also, too, you mentioned with your major social science.
Mm-hmm.
And again, and I know Nick was asking you this, so I'm going to take a little thunder away from Nick. After LCCC, would you like to hang, again, I'll use the University of Wyoming, or do you have a place that you would like to go and finish your collegiate studies or even continue on with your athletics?
Yeah, I want to go to a 4-year school after LCCC, but I don't have a special place. I just want to stay here in the United States, and I want to graduate in international relations.
Is there any, as we talk about Brazil, we talk about you having that experience at the Olympics, seeing volleyball down there, any hope or any at least aspirations to join Team Brazil on the volleyball Olympic ranks? Has that ever crossed your mind, so to speak?
Yeah, I think volleyball was like always my love since like 6 years ago. And I feel if I could still playing for like the rest of my life, I would do it. But I want also graduate and have my international relations going.
Let me ask you this question too, and again, sometimes there's a language barrier, but you speak very, very good English, so I'm very impressed with that. But you come in with a bunch of new freshmen under first-year coach Keri Coates. So let me ask you this question: how are you getting along with all of your teammates now? I mean, usually when you're a team, it becomes almost like a family. You do things together. Are you finding that you ladies are starting to do things together?
Yes, in my team this year we have more freshmen than sophomores, and I think it's kind of cool because we are all new and we are all new how to live in college and how to have this experience. And the sophomores are so cool and they helped us a lot. And we are like family now, and we really enjoy the time with each other, and we are having so much fun this weeks.
And school too, obviously in your part of the world, school is very important. And
Yes.
again too, where you learn another language like English. How's the schooling at the collegiate level at LCCC? Are you finding it a little more difficult as you go from class to class?
Now I just have 2 classes because my other classes didn't start yet. They started August 18th. But I have math and Spanish, and I'm doing really good. I can understand them, and they also know I'm Brazilian, so they try to speak slow and to make sure I'm understanding what they're saying.
When you say Brazilian, is that Portuguese?
Yes.
Oh, you little Portuguese. Okay.
So at least have
My-
that
My godfather was.
Well, yeah, at least good for you. But either way, again, having that opportunity.
He was related to you too,
All right,
knucklehead.
either way, but again, as we talk with you, again, a freshman headed into LCCC this season, what goals did you have for this season for yourself? What did you set? Was it whether getting kills, blocks? What did you kind of outline for, I need to achieve this for this season?
Yeah, I have some goals for myself, but my most important goals are for my team, and I really want us to win games and go to the nationals and do a really good season. And I have my personal goals as have higher kills and blocks, but I think the most important goals are for my team.
It's been a little tough go out of the blocks as we were talking with Coach Coates. So you're on the floor. Tell us what's been off thus far with the team, because you got to start getting some more W's than L's, right?
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating for us, but we know we are in the right way and we are improving each game and we are doing better each game. So it's preseason, so we knew we have really good matches, and we are all young and we are mostly freshmen, so we are knowing this all things. And I'm really excited for the rest of the season because we are really improving each game. So I think we have a whole season to prove ourselves and do our best and win some games.
For someone that was nervous, she's doing a hell of a job right now. I'm telling you, I'm very impressed. Go ahead, Nick.
Without a doubt. Now, again, as you weather the storm, so to speak, here in this non-conference, that it's just been absolutely just tough seeing a bunch of top 25 ranked teams. But now, have you felt like you weathered that storm? It kind of sounds like you alluded to hey, we're excited for Region 9 Conference, but basically talk about that non-conference of what you saw other teams doing that, that kind of impressed you, so to speak, of, oh, okay, they're doing this on the defensive side, or this is how they're attacking. What kind of impressed you from seeing the likes of College of Southern Idaho or some of those kind of bigger teams that you face across the net?
Yeah, we played really good teams, and they play fast, and they're all strong and tall. And we had really good matches, and coach just show us before games some plays from other teams, and to make sure we know which is their strongest and their weakness, so we can play our game better. But yeah, I think our conference is so good. They're all really good teams, and I think we are here for it. We have to trust the process and go for it.
All right, we've been talking with Kalme Moncavo from Brazil, who's a member of the LCCC ladies volleyball team. And again, too, she is the right side hitter for Coach Coates, and we invite you to go on out. And matter of fact, let's hit that Tuesday reminder again against Otero, so folks will come on out and see Kalme and the rest of the young ladies. And again, a young team, a lot of freshmen this year that are building the program back up. So, again, come on out and go ahead, Nick. I'll let you explain the
Well, because you can't remember it.
It's on Tuesday.
How about September 17th? It'll be at 6 o'clock there, live at the rack again. The third home contest here for LCCC. It is also to Spike Out Polio Night as well, too. Again, nice little community event put on by LCCC Volleyball. So, again, encourage all folks to tune out, at least head on out. Head on out to the at least rack again coming up next Tuesday. Looking forward to it. Again, it's been a packed crowd so far in the past two, at least, home contests.
Keri, now you know why I do the play-by-play.
Good for you.
All right. Anyway, we want to thank head coach Keri Coates for joining us. Also, Kalme Moncavo joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We've got to pay some bills. We'll be right back with more after these words on 1480 KRAE.
Did you know that in rural areas of Laramie County, electricity is reliable and affordable because of High West Energy? Based in Pine Bluffs, High West Energy is an electric co-op owned by the 10,000 customers we serve, and that includes F.U. Warren Air Force Base and 20 subdivisions around Cheyenne. For more than 75 years, High West has been proud to play a part in the steady growth and economic development of this region while also contributing to local nonprofits, charities, and civic organizations. The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student-athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444. Your locally owned and operated radio stations KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE. First Tier Bank is proud to team up again with the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. You're invited to join and participate in the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer event on Saturday, September 28th. Registration begins at 10:30 in the morning at Lions Park at the South Picnic Shelter. For more information, contact Janet Lewis at 307-287-6569 or go online to alz.org/walk to learn more. We'll see you Saturday, September 28th at Lions Park for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, brought to you by the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association and First Tier Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 78 and winds out of the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. If it's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 51. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 73. And on Wednesday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 46.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Sports Talk today. Once again, thank you to Keri Coates, head coach of the Lady Golden Eagles volleyball team, and to Kalme Moncavo. See, and I'm going to bet you, Nick, and I'm going to say this, I'm not being mean about this, but, people always have that wrong impression of Brazil, where they think Spanish is the language. Portuguese is the major tongue in
I thought that was common knowledge.
Well, not with a lot of people today. But anyway, again, being of Portuguese descent and then learning English. I thought she had a very good command. Matter of fact, last year I know when we talked.
Well, again, that's normal for a lot of international, at least.
Yeah,
athletes.
but a lot of
again, what we're learning for like Mateo Zovko on the men's basketball side of things.
It was
again,
a slow process.
He's slowly learning English, but it is something that he's getting accustomed to and trying to at least get underway. We know that we are unfortunately not going to be able to talk with Mateo. He's not at that level to get kind of on air talk with us yet. That's his reason why. Yeah, again, where we had at least Mateo, I do believe his brother at least reach out. Hey, again, Mateo, this is according to Coach Ficca that he can't really at least get the full English language at least to do an interview. So we did not at least ignore Mateo. We just at least couldn't get over that language barrier with him. But again, that's kind of commonplace with those international students as English is kind of getting up there of that universal kind of language across the entire world. So, but at least good to hear that for her, it is something that over at LCCC, teachers, staff is being accommodating to a certain extent. Again, helping her out, kind of slowing things down, keeping at her pace while she does at least be an athlete there at LCCC, but again, obviously student first as she focuses on social sciences and again wants to do at least the international studies once she does make it onto that 4-year university, and hopefully she'll be able to continue on her volleyball career wherever that may be here in the States.
And want to remind you, coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we will have another special guest. He will join us on the phone. His radio name is your boy Q. He's co-host of Unnecessary Roughness on ESPN Central Texas and host of the Locked On Raiders podcast. Guy out of Texas.
That's
talking about the silver and black.
The Red Raiders. It is the Oakland Raiders.
So. Yeah, the Oaktown Raiders. So we'll get a little bit possibly on last night. And matter of fact, as you mentioned yesterday, the circus that was one Antonio Brown.
Yeah, we'll definitely get his thoughts on that. And again, as we talk with Cody Roark, who is the host of Locked On Broncos, again, it's part of this Locked On family. So again, reaching out and again, looking forward to talking with Q about this again situation out in Oakland, give a little insight on things and just his opinion of what has been the off season and preseason for the Oakland Raiders.
I'm kind of curious. I'm sure he's probably got some East Bay area roots when it's all said and done. Would you think?
Possibly, you would assume, but again, we'll get that information from him.
All right, we want to remind you, coming up Saturday at War Memorial Stadium, football action. As we talked ad nauseum yesterday, and we heard the lengthy press conference from one head coach, Craig Bull, we've got the Idaho Vandals coming in preseason action, or non-conference action, I should say.
It's not preseason. This matters.
I mean, everything does count, but again, I got to get non-conference in the slate here. But as the Cowboys will entertain the Vandals, and along with Nick, we are members of the Cowboy Joe Club, and the Cowboy Joe Club rewards us with our membership with some season tickets. And obviously, we have that opportunity. I know I'll be busy this weekend, but Nick will be in attendance.
Yeah, without a doubt. And again, I'll be wearing the at least the silver and gold.
Nobody really cares. But the point is,
no one cares about you.
Well, yeah, they do care because these are my tickets that I'm giving away.
Well,
and we are giving away tickets, a pair of tickets. I do believe we have some Chick-fil-A goodies to go with those tickets.
The ones you've been advertising again over at least only valid at the Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range here in town.
Mac and cheese. This is new to the menu, and hopefully it's going to be a mainstay. And
I would assume so.
For limited time, it's going to be here through, I'd say, probably the early part of November. They're frosted they're frosted caramel coffee.
As I say, you could look at the offer where it says expires November 9th, so you got some time to cash these in, especially on that caramel coffee. So, again, don't wait till the end, but enjoy it. And like I said, as I am encouraging folks, do it before you head to the game. Go get your food. Go get your goodies there. Again, it is free. These are free coupons there, at least the corner of Windmill Del Range, only valid at that Chick-fil-A here in town.
Right across from Powers Field and Menards. So
yeah, without a doubt.
Check it out.
But either way, though, as we gave away tickets, I do believe Candy Hunter was the winner yesterday for the first pair of tickets. We have 3 more to give away, including that also too Lone Summit View Parking Pass, which we'll give away I'm going to determine we'll give that away tomorrow as part of that prize pack. But for today, it's a pair of tickets again to go see the Cowboys versus the Vandals. 3 o'clock kickoff there at War Memorial Stadium. Again, the pair of goodies to go see our friends over at Chick-fil-A Del Range. And thank you to all who did at least who are entered and have been entering throughout the past couple of days on the Facebook side of things, where if you have not yet, head on over to facebook.com/WyoSportsTalk or just simply search for Wyoming Sports Talk today. Give us a like, a follow on that page, and also on the at least post. It is pinned at the top of that page. Like, comment, share that as well, too, to garner 3 entries into the Fishbowl of Awesomeness, where I will draw the next name for who will be the winner for today. Again, the pair of tickets, which will go to, and I'll flip it around right now, it'll be to Caleb Snyder. Caleb Snyder, congratulations. You are our winner for today of a pair of tickets and the pair of goodies to go see friends over at Chick-fil-A. I will message you on the Facebook side of things of how you come by and pick up your tickets before Saturday's game to go and enjoy that contest.
So we have more tickets to give away. Congratulations.
We have one more pair tomorrow and one more on Thursday.
That's 2 pairs, so that would mean we have more. So congratulations going out to Caleb Hunter, our winner today.
I'm glad you can count.
KRAE. Yeah, I can. I at least went to class.
I went to some classes that were entertaining.
Yeah, you went to Idaho, and again, as we say, and it goes back from the old animal.
I'm still in that.
You were on double secret probation.
So what?
Before they finally came out and said, "You're hasta la vista, baby."
If anything, that tells me I was happy enough to get away from you all and again go up there to the friendly confines of Moscow, Idaho. Again, where yes, I did have fun. It's college. I mean, let's not get that wrong. Hey, I found fraternity row up there in Moscow and then had some fun. But
and the one thing
it doesn't help that I had football roommates as well too. That at least got me in a few practices.
The most fun I always have with you, Nick, and I'll never forget it, is when I had to go to your teacher conferences years ago at East, and I went with both, for your sister and you. And I remember that one time you were having problems in history, and I wasn't having problems. It was again, we had the understanding that it was one at least educator over there that was causing a lot of problems. Yeah, but I said, let me see your book, and the thing had never been cracked open. You never cracked open the history book.
Because I had straight A's in history beforehand, and it's not that hard.
Well, evidently it was for you that year, wasn't it?
And we all knew what the cause of the problem was. That I was not the only one that had issues in that class.
Yeah, that's fine.
So create whatever lie you want. Again,
I'm not creating any lie. Am I telling the truth about the book? You never cracked it open? Because when I cracked it open,
I doubt you even remember.
Oh, I remember it so well. Sure. I remember being in that line because I remember one lady dressing down that teacher, and I didn't have the heart to do that.
There you go.
So anyway, let's move along here. We again, did anybody watch the Monday night doubleheader last night?
Did anyone?
I
didn't.
I
saw a bit of the first.
I caught the end of the first one, and I'll tell you what, the last minute and a half of that game was probably the best part of that game.
It was the wackiest last minute where it looked like New Orleans was going to go down 0-1 to a Houston team. Again, a bizarre, at least I do believe, missed penalty or call penalty. It was just a wacky end to what has been a wacky start to here 2019 NFL football. But give credit to New Orleans Saints again driving down. You can't discredit Drew Brees. He does this year in and year out.
Drew Brees to me reminded me a lot, and again, obviously before your time, of watching Joe Montana. He came out there with 37 seconds left, and I said that to myself while I'm watching this game. And again, kudos to Deshaun Watson, who drove him down 2 plays, touchdown. Then they missed the extra point, and then the goofball from New Orleans runs into the kicker.
Yeah,
and then they get the chance to kick the extra point, and they put it through.
Well, and again,
but 37 seconds was more than enough time for one Drew Brees to take his team down and put him in a field goal range.
Yeah, without a doubt, he has a talent. He is a guy that can certainly, again, even with the minimal seconds that are remaining on a clock, he can drive down that team. He's done it before, and it was no surprise. Well, the Saints come away with a 30-28, at least victory last night, again, off of that, at least game-winning field goal. Again, give credit to Lutz as well, too, for the New Orleans Saints, at least getting that in and winning that contest. But it's a battle of two teams that are – I would think could be playoff bound. Again, New Orleans, I'm pretty confident in that NFC South will be. Carolina's not that impressive. Tampa Bay, yawn. And again, looking at the Atlanta Falcons of how they played in Week 1, oh well. And Houston's that team where it has a lot of question marks of can they be. I always hold the Texans in high regard in past couple seasons of saying, yes, they can win that AFC South. They can be an AFC wild card. I continue that trend of they're on the fringe for me.
They did well on the road. I will give.
And again, I've always been on the train with Watson, where I think he's a phenomenal quarterback.
I think he's a good quarterback. I think, and what I saw last night, especially on that idiotic penalty at the end, and this tells me why Sean Payton does not get back to the Super Bowl. He's got a discipline problem on that team. He needs to take a little more charge. And again, what that player did last night, I would either bench him for what he did, because that could have cost him the game. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But he's had that problem not this year. He had it last year. He had it the year before. And a guy
the year before, he wasn't even coaching.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Yeah, because he was the problem himself.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's a reflection of his team. He's got discipline problems. I mean, and again, if you don't have a guy,
it's a team that you're saying that's undisciplined that got to the AFC Championship. Gave it again was one play away from making the Super Bowl.
Everybody.
He's a guy that, as a head coach, does have a championship.
Everybody gripes and moans about the one Los Angeles Rams interference play, and there's no doubt about it was.
And obviously
there was about 5 plays during the game that the Saints were
again,
allowed.
That one play, though, had ripple effect here in the NFL where you look into 2019. Guess what? You have the two challenges where again,
you can do it on the defensive side now.
Yeah, you could do it on the defensive side.
It worked for the guy in Seattle.
All right. Who are you looking for? What name?
The Seattle Seahawks coach. Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. There you go.
Yeah, see, you had a little.
Well, I was like, are you talking like a player? It's like I have no idea what you're talking about.
Pete Carroll used it and won the challenge.
All right, so he's got that opportunity. Again, all head coaches have that opportunity due to the fact of what happened last year in that NFC Championship game. So, again, that lone play yes, I agree with you. There were many other plays in that game that were not called or missed, whether it was against Rams or against the New Orleans Saints. But, again, that lone play is what at least his kind of reared its ugly head across the NFL and has altered and added another rule, at least another thing on top of
another delay to the game.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, but either way, though, again, New Orleans, it's a team that, as undisciplined as they are, gets away with it.
Well, yeah.
They have the talent like a Drew Brees.
And
that
you know why they get away with
team.
it? They get away with it because the stabilizing factor is the quarterback in one Drew Brees.
Yeah, without a doubt. It is something that New Orleans can hang its hat on, and clearly they did last night.
And
if we're going to have issues, this guy can carry the team.
And like I told you when we opened up this conversation, watching him surgically perform on the field last night in those 37
seconds.
You
don't expect anything else.
He reminded me of Joe Montana. I knew once he stepped onto the field and they had that much time left, I knew New Orleans was going to win that one last night.
All right. Well, and again, you should have that confidence. The guy knows, again, clearly what he's doing at that point in time. But, again, New Orleans does squeak away with a win, 30-28. So, again, Houston, you had an opportunity. Or at least I would say for Houston, you gave it a good shot. But, yeah, it's hard to disrespect or at least stop one Drew Brees. And clearly they found out the hard way about that last night. But
it will be a battle between them and Houston and Tennessee. I think
we'll see about Indianapolis. We'll see about the Colts. I'm not going to say, hey, Andrew Luck's no longer there. Colts are bye-bye. I'm not going to get on that.
We can automatically scratch out Jacksonville after Foles goes down. Yeah, I think we can write them off.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
But I would say right now Tennessee's
your favorite.
Inside track. I actually thought Houston
might
almost came with that road win.
Yeah, Houston might entertain taking away that division title, but we'll see what happens. Again, Houston is such an up-and-down franchise where one year they get into the playoffs, next year they just falter, whether it's injuries, whether it's this or that. Houston's that up-and-down franchise where you just don't know. You really don't know what to expect.
And you go back to the Colts game, and that one where San Diego fell asleep at the Los Angeles Chargers. Doggone it. The Los Angeles Chargers fell asleep at the wheel defensively. And the Colts snuck up on them. I think Houston, watching them last night, they have more weapons. Their secondary needs to shore up, though. That's the one thing that Houston severely
That's
lacks
going to be
right
an
now.
Achilles heel. I'm not saying that Houston's going to be your Super Bowl champions or make it that far without a doubt, but it is something that defense is a bit of an issue. It's something that Houston has certainly addressed, or at least Texan fans have talked about, but we'll see what happens with Houston of how they address it and how it affects them throughout this, at least, season. If they shored up that defense, will they have won last night? Again, I don't know. I really don't know, especially when you are taking on Drew Brees. Who knows how to dissect defenses? He's gone against top-level defenses, top-level players, playmakers on that opposite side, and still made them look kind of silly out there. So it's something of, all right, you can only guess and try to entertain thoughts of it, but hey, it happened. New Orleans won. Houston lost. Houston lost respectively on the road in a tough environment as well, too, in the Dome, without a doubt.
And we're going to save the second half of the doubleheader for our next guest joining us. And matter of fact, let's get into the next hour of programming here on Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
4 o'clock hour, we reverse it of our fine sponsors. We want to thank Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue. Sweet Dean, the Greenway Commons, again, Paisan cuisine at its best 7 days a week. See Joe and the great staff over at Mondello's Pizzeria. First Tier Bank directly across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, and they are open Monday through Friday. Again, co-sponsors of the End to Alzheimer's Walk. That will be coming up on September 28th at Lions Park. Get a hold of our good friend Janet Lewis here at the Alzheimer's organization, and she will let you know exactly what's going on with the End to Alzheimer's Walk. I do believe it's alzheimers.org if you need more information. We want to thank Lennox Auto Body, which is located on Dunn Avenue. And again, the Auto Glass and Detail Center, part of Lennox Enterprises, serving our community for a quarter century. The Auto Glass and Detail Center, where it's not clean until it's Lennox clean, over on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy, same location as always, open Monday through Saturday. Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Chick-fil-A, as we talked about them, I should say, because we gave away a couple of tickets and a couple of goodies, and that includes their newest menu creations. Well, mac and cheese, it's on the menu, and it is absolutely delicious. And again, for a limited time, we invite you to try their Frosted Caramel Coffee over at Chick-fil-A, where you can have 3 squares, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Monday through Saturday. Windmill and Delrange, right across from Powers Field and Menards. Platte Valley Bank ×2 banking, again, done the old-fashioned way, done the high-technology way, everything in between, located on Banda High, and the second location on the east side, right there at the corner of College and Pershing. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Key of Cheyenne on Nationway. It is time for you to kick a few tires, take a test drive in the remaining 19s on the lot, or take a test drive in the 2020 Telluride, for example. These cars sell themselves. All these guys do over there, and they're great folks, trust me. But let them do the paperwork. And then you take home the key of your dreams tonight. You're going to find some special deals on those 19s that need to go right now. See my good friend AJ and the crew over at Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. And last but not least, at all Taco John's of Cheyenne, including the food truck, the Taco John's food truck on the south side over in the Outlaw Saloon parking lot. Yeah, while they're rebuilding the South Greeley Highway address. Well, at Taco John's today, it's very simple. Taco Tuesday, yes, all day, all night. Taco John's of Cheyenne. We get things underway at scoreboard time. Brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick.
Well, no LCCC action to recap or at least talk about, as all teams are at least anticipated to play this weekend, if not next week. But at least reminding folks coming up this Friday here on 1480 KRAE 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com. Audio is where you can listen in for this game, and video-wise where you can watch it live with us on Periscope via Twitter, and also too on the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. We will have Cheyenne South for the first time this season, the Fighting Bison, as they play host to Casper Kelly Walsh. Both teams looking for their first win here in 2019. We'll see which one will get it. Hopefully it is those Fighting Bison, as they are at home finally after, again, being at Natrona, being up at Thunder Basin. They are now finally back in town as they take on the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. 6 o'clock kickoff, 5:30 tentative pregame show here on 1480 KRAE. Looking forward to that game coming up again this Friday.
Major League Baseball getting underway. While we'll still be on the air, will be the Yankees at the Tigers at Comerica in Detroit. It will be the Bravos and the Phils in the 5 o'clock hour at Citizens Bank Ballpark. Dodgers-Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. The Bo Sox and the Blue Jays in the Rogers Center. 5:10 we'll have the Diamondbacks taking on the Mets at Citi Field. Also at 5:10, Brewers-Marlins in Miami. 5:40 we'll have the Nationals and the Twins in interleague play at Target Field. At Globe Life Park in Arlington, 6 o'clock hour will feature the Rays and the Rangers. Royals and the White Sox also in the 6 o'clock hour at Guaranteed Rate Field. The Swinging A's and the Astros will hook up again at Minute Maid around 6:10. 6:40, Cardinals Rocks at Coors Field. 85 degrees currently in Lodo. Michael Waka on the rubber for the Redbirds. And it will be Chichi Gonzalez once again, who is 0-6 with a 7.29 ERA. He'll be tossing the rock for the Rockies. 7:45 in San Francisco, the Giants welcome back Johnny Cueto as he will make his first start for the Giants as they will take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Indians, Angels in the 8 o'clock hour in SoCal. Cubs, Padres again at Petco, and also in the 8 o'clock hour about 8:10 at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. Interleague play with the Reds taking on the host Mariners. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds. We're best buds.
And there's nothing that we love more than a
cool,
crisp,
deliciously refreshing Pepsi!
Sure, we live inside your mouth.
But that doesn't mean we don't enjoy the finer things.
Hey, Nate. Pepsi incoming!
Here it comes!
Area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Have you talked to your kids about vaping? Most e-cigarettes and vaping devices still contain nicotine, which can harm adolescent brain development. The flavors and chemicals in e-cigarettes and vaping devices may also contain formaldehyde and weed killer, and can also cause headaches, nausea, lung and heart disease, plus damage to your liver, kidneys, nervous system, and can lead to cancer. Don't be fooled. This message is brought to you by the Wyoming Institute of Population Health.
Make your drive anything but average with the 2019 Kia Sorento. I'm AJ Miller, and with the 2019 Kia Sorento, you get similar features like the competition standard models, but spend less. That puts more money in your pocket. Dynamax all-wheel drive, Smart Power liftgate, and Surround View monitor are some of the many features available on the Kia Sorento. Come into Kia of Cheyenne for exceptional value. Call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Taco Tuesday is calling. That's the sound of tacos packed with seasoned beef and classic toppings for an amazing price. Save on seasoned beef tacos every Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. Craver Savers.
Crunching.
Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
Answer the call of Taco Tuesday with 89-cent seasoned beef tacos every Taco Tuesday.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 78 and winds out of the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. If it's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 51. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 73. And on Wednesday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 46.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
And welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Proetti, along with Nick Proetti, we bring on our next guest. First timer on our program. He is the co-host of Unnecessary Roughness on ESPN Central Texas and host of the Locked On Raiders podcast. And we bring on your boy Q. Q, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Absolutely. It is my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm fired up and excited about it.
Now, Q, you don't have that Texas drawl there. Are you originally from the East Bay area?
I am absolutely originally from the East Bay. I'm a California guy through and through, but I've made my way to Central Texas, and I've been loving every minute of it.
Talk to me. I'm a Pittsburgh High School grad, 1975, and Chico State grad.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I actually lived in Pittsburgh for a long time. I actually used to play basketball at Los Medanos College.
Yes, I was a Pirate. I used to play baseball for the Pirates over there in Pitt and played football there too.
Well, see, we're like brothers already.
You got that right. So we will have fun talking about the Raiders because
you all could draw.
No.
I get the connection there.
You don't even understand, and maybe Q, you might relate to this. There's a couple places in Pittsburgh. One is the Silver Knight Liquors, if I'm not mistaken, Silver Knight, and the other one used to be Hot Dog Owls. Now, Hot Dog Owls was the 49ers hangout, and the Silver Knight was the Raiders hangout. So it's a very split down the middle community of Pitt with Raiders and Niners. Am I right?
No, you are very right, and there was a time when there was a young native of Antioch who actually played for the Raiders as well with Maurice Jones-Drew. So there was a lot of ties to the East Bay and to especially that area, Antioch-Pittsburgh area, that relates with the Pittsburgh and the Raiders. So yeah, man, you're spot on.
All right, so let's talk about the Raiders, and I guess my first question out of the box to you, and this is on a serious note. Garon Conley last night, cornerback for the Raiders, as he was going after Royce Freeman on that 27-yard run. He got leg whipped in the neck by Jonathan Abram, who got penalized for leading with his helmet. His condition, because they did cart him off on a stretcher last night. Have you heard anything more?
Yeah, John Gruden said last night after the game that it wasn't that serious and that he was going to be okay, and then he doubled down with that today and actually said there's a chance that Garyon might actually play on Sunday against the Chiefs. So all is well with Garyon Conley. He tweeted out that he went to the hospital because it was a precautionary moment. It was just a neck strain. So I think all is good. I think he's out of the woods and escaped probably a major injury. But as precautionary, as the NFL has been doing, which they should do, they wanted to make sure they went through the proper steps to make sure he was okay. So all is good with Garyon Conley. He might play on Sunday.
Now, I have been...
I was going to say, that's good news for Raider fans again hearing that, yeah.
I was going to say, I have been to the Oakland Coliseum many times in my life. As a fan, but last night the Coliseum was probably at its best. Matter of fact, I even remember in the first quarter where Derek Carr basically was waving his arms when they were on that initial drive against the Broncos because everybody was just so fired up. Have you ever seen a more electric setting than last night at the Coliseum?
I don't think that there was probably a more electric setting. I would have to go back many, many years when the Raiders were playing the Ravens at that playoff game where Tony Saragusa belly flopped on top of Rich Gannon. I might say that one. I was there in person at that game, and that was very painful, but I think that was a very electric atmosphere. But I think it's been very few and far between since they've had those kind of electric moments like that. Maybe go back to last season when everybody thought that they were closing out the Coliseum on that Monday night against Denver when they got that victory, and then ultimately, now they know that this is the final season in Oakland. So I definitely believe that every game, I do. I think every single game this season at the Coliseum should be electric because the fans there in Oakland, the great fans there in Oakland, know that this is the final hurrah.
Yeah, again, it is the final at least season there in the East Bay before the Oakland Raiders. If you have been hiding under a rock, move out to Las Vegas to the new billion-dollar stadium there in Sin City. But especially with the emotions of knowing, hey, this might be the final Monday night game. Here it is, the final, at least home contest against your heated rival Denver Broncos here in Oakland, California. There was a lot riding on last night's contest, but let's get into that contest with you, Q. We talk about Derek Carr, 259 yards, 1 TD, 22 out of 26, so he was pretty much on point. Jacobs, for the at least kind of rushing-wise, 2 touchdowns. So offense was there, and same with the defense. But again, we'll talk about at least the Denver Broncos of what you saw from that contest. But Oakland seems like, -1 Antonio Brown not being a target. It seems like the Oakland Raiders are fine without him.
Yeah, they really are. The thing about it with Antonio Brown and all the issues that he had all summer long, all training camp long, during mandatory minicamp, he really allowed them to practice and get to become a team without him because he wasn't there. That he wasn't there more than 2 days in a row. He was never there 3 days in a row ever. So this team grew without him. This team learned how to play without him and not make him the feature. John Gruden could have made a major mistake if he had built this offense to succeed around AB. Instead, he didn't. He brought in all these other weapons, and AB was going to be the secret weapon, the big splash. But the rest of the weapons around Derek Carr are really the guys that are going to make this thing go. AB was going to be an extra, and that was smart on John Gruden and Mike Mayock's part to build this team and build this offense around those other parts. And you saw how that worked last night. Derek Carr looked like a man on a mission. I haven't seen him that focused, that laser focused in a long, long time, probably since 2016.
I want to get your at least thoughts as we're talking about Antonio Brown again, the recent situation of what has happened out there with the Raiders, again, now with AB joining on with the New England Patriots, something that we discussed yesterday on the show of saying, or at least in my opinion, it felt like Antonio Brown with the frostbite issue, with the helmet issue, with getting in the face of GM Mike Mayock. It was all, or at least it felt like it was all stunts by Antonio Brown to kind of poke the bear, so to speak. He realized, again, where we saw in the preseason, at least predictions that Oakland was not anticipated to do well this season. They were at least a sub-500 team to miss the playoffs. But it felt like Antonio Brown was doing this in the offseason and preseason to kind of say, hey, get me out of Oakland so some other team, i.e. now the New England Patriots, who are now playoff bound, or at least they're in playoff at least contention year in and year out. Did you kind of get that feeling after we saw this all accumulating of him getting released by the Oakland Raiders?
I felt like that's been the case the last couple weeks. I've heard a lot of people float out the idea that this was his plan all along when he was still in Pittsburgh. He was going to make his way to Oakland just to find himself in New England. One, I don't want to give Antonio Brown that much credit. I think that that's making him way smarter than he really is. I think that he realized the last few weeks that Mike Mayock, the GM, wasn't going to take his shenanigans. He really wasn't. He wasn't going to allow him to be late to meetings without being fined, or not show up to practice without being fined, not be at training camp without getting fined. And I think he said, I'm going to go ahead and draw this line in the sand, and you're not going to cross it, where AB thought, hey, I'm great. I'm good friends with the head coach. I can do anything I want, similar to what I did in Pittsburgh. And Mike Mayock wasn't going to let that happen. And so I don't think that he actually had beef, and that's Antonio Brown. I don't think he had beef with John Gruden. I think he genuinely had a love and affection for John, but I think the real problem became when Mike Mayock said, I'm going to lay the hammer down. I'm going to make sure you know that you're no better than Tyrell Williams. You're no better than Darren Waller. You're no better than the fifth receiver on the roster. You have to go and follow the same rules as everybody else. He put it down, and AB didn't like it, and at that point he started looking for a way to get out.
We're talking with Q. He's the co-host of Unnecessary Roughness on ESPN Central Texas and host of the Locked On Raiders podcast. Talking with you, Q, and I don't know about you, but I'm getting homesick, and I'm thinking the Mecca and some chilaquiles right now. Anyway, Hey, relate with me here. I'm telling you, I haven't been home in a long time. I missed out on my class reunion this
I don't even want to
past
hear
month,
that.
thanks to Knucklehead across the way here. Anyway, Antonio Brown, he goes on to New England. Now, you know, obviously I'm a lot older than you, but let's be real honest. We know about the Bill Belichick regime in New England. He's not going to take any guff. You don't fly his way. Adios, amigo.
Right, exactly. And so I'm really interested to see how it's going to shake out because it can go one of two ways. I mean, you hit it on the head. Bill Belichick is always going to be Bill Belichick. He's not going to change for anybody. It's either going to go the way of Randy Moss and work out really well, or it's going to go the way of Chad Ochocinco and he's going to get released. You know, I mean, it's one of two ways. There's no middle even when it comes to Antonio Brown. I find it hard to believe just because he was with the Raiders for a couple months that he's going to all of a sudden straighten up and fly right. I mean, I've always lived by the same motto that tigers don't change their stripes. And this is who Antonio Brown is. He is this guy. I don't expect him to change up who he is. He might try to walk the straight and narrow and look like the good guy and look like the guy who's going to work hard and hold people accountable and do the right thing. You know, just the same thing he said at his introductory press conference with the Raiders. He might say that at first and he might act like that and smile real pretty, but ultimately, man, a tiger is a tiger. You know, a bear is a bear and a pig is a pig. They all are the same guys. It doesn't matter how you dress them up. So I think that there's a good chance this is not going to work out. But if he's smart, if he's really, really a smart guy, which a lot of times he is when it comes to his money, he'll do what he's supposed to do this year in New England, get his money, and let them exercise that option that they just put into his contract for $20 million more guaranteed, which would ultimately come out to be about $35 million, where he was guaranteed to make $30 in Oakland. He'd actually come out on top and then have a chance of winning a Super Bowl ring as well. But I don't know if he's that smart.
But let me say this though, and Nick made a very good point yesterday. This big soap opera that happened in Oakland. Let me. Again, I'm going to pick your brain, Q. Did Antonio Brown see something that you and me did not see within the Raiders organization and basically took his chance by getting released that somebody was going to pick him up, thinking that he wasn't going to go anywhere with the Raiders this year?
I don't think he didn't think they were going to go anywhere. I think that he realized he wasn't going to be able to do what he wanted to do. And I think he also realized that the team didn't need him as much as he thought. I think he saw how much they worked by themselves without him. I think that there wasn't really the relationships in the locker room with the guys that it might have looked like to the outsiders like myself. You know, it looked like on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter that everybody was lovey-dovey. Even on Hard Knocks, it looked like they loved him so much. But, you know, there's been rumblings coming out of the locker room that none of the players are that upset that he's gone. So maybe he realized that, hey, you know what, this is not really the place for me, and maybe this isn't going to go the way I think it's going to go, and these guys aren't going to, you know, put up with the stuff that I thought that they were going to put up with. And so, hey, let me go to the team that originally wanted to trade for me back in March, which, you know, that's what the New England Patriots wanted to do originally. So maybe he all of a sudden saw the writing on the wall, realized that things weren't going to happen right, and when Mike Mayock took that or gave him that fine and took his guaranteed money away from him, that was all she wrote. Once the guaranteed money was gone, he wanted nothing to do with that organization.
And again, with the Raiders at least not having to pay out any money, hey, it was just an easy kind of split of, hey, you go your way and we'll go our way. And at least with the Raiders so far, again, it's been a positive. It wasn't something that overshadowed Monday night's game and, again, did not shift Oakland, at least the Raiders' focus away from that contest against the Denver Broncos. But talking about last night's game there at the Coliseum against the Denver Broncos, as we've talked about, being out here in Broncos country, again, a team that's not anticipated to do a whole lot this season, even with new, at least, head coach, again, new quarterback Joe Flacco as well. But we kind of saw that last night, that Denver, at least for the Denver Broncos, they got a lot of issues, including also, too, on that offensive line.
Yeah, they really do. The offensive line is going to be in some trouble. Jawan James, their big guy that they got in the offseason, gave him a big free agent contract. He went down early in the game, and it was all she wrote after that. The Raiders were able to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback, which I thought was very impressive, saying they only had 13 sacks in 2018. They already walked away from one game with 3 sacks. Won by a rookie. I thought that was very impressive that they were able to get that kind of pressure, and that's not going to bode well for the Denver Broncos. That's not going to bode well for that run game. Phillip Lindsay, Royce Freeman, those guys, they're dogs, man. They could play, but if they don't have any offensive line, if they don't have any push, it's going to be tough sledding. And we know that Joe Flacco is not a guy who's fleet of foot. He's not a guy who's going to be running around the yard and escaping trouble. I mean, he'd rather throw the ball just out of bounds and just take a L, and just live to play another down than try to run around. He's basically like a statue back there. So, yeah, they got a lot of problems, man. That offensive line is one. But I'll tell you guys, and you probably know better than me, I was shocked that a Vic Fangio-led defense didn't play better than that last night.
No, they didn't. And matter of fact, there was a couple of nice orchestrated drives there by the Raiders that netted TDs.
Well, and it brings up a question along with that also, too, again, as you talk about, hey, Vic Fangio with his defense very well known of just being tough-nosed, hard knocks, stuff like that. Is it a question of what we saw last night? Again, obviously, we're early into 2019, but was it a scenario of that Denver's defense is that bad, or is it a question of Oakland's offense is actually really better than what we thought here in 2019?
Oh, I think it's a combination of both, and I hate that answer. I hate it with a passion, but I do think that's what it is. I think that the defense of the Broncos haven't quite figured out exactly what they're supposed to be doing under Vic Fangio, and that comes from a lot of guys not getting action in the preseason, a lot of guys not getting that burn. I mean, it's easy to look at a playbook or sit in a meeting or even go through a practice and say that, hey, this is going to be okay and we're going to figure this out. We have Chris Harris. We have Von Miller. We have Bradley Chubb. We have Derek Wolfe. We have all these guys that they'll just figure out how to go and they'll just go play. But it's other things to just go out and do it. And they didn't do it on Monday night, and the Raiders were able to take advantage. But I also, with that being said, I think that John Gruden came up with a good game plan. You know that these two guys are coming off the edge. You know that your offensive line in 2018 was pretty suspect. That's why you went out and got Trent Brown and spent a whole lot of money on him. You also know that you have two backups at the guard positions, left guard and right guard. You have your starters are out. So you have to come up with a game plan to get that ball out of Derek Carr's hand quickly. And that's what he was able to do. And that's what John Gruden's offense has always been around. It's always been that West Coast, get it out your hand and get the yards after the catch. Do as much as you can after the catch. Take your shot every once in a while. Have the power running game. And I'll tell you guys, everything was clicking last night. From Josh Jacobs running, Tyrell Williams catching the ball, Darren Waller coming up big when nobody knew what to expect from him. He had more catches last night than he had in all of 2018. I mean, you really couldn't ask for a better scenario on a Monday night to start the season off at your home.
Real quick, Q, I want to go back to the Mayock situation because you and Nick got into a nice little discussion there, and then we moved on to last night's game. And I think I brought this up to you yesterday too, Nick. With Mayock, did he kind of remind you through this whole situation of Al Davis? Because Al was the kind of guy who took no crap from nobody. And let's be real honest, Mark, he's brain dead. I mean, let's be real candid. But Mayock, did he kind of remind you a little bit of Al Davis? Not so much, running things with an iron fist, but hey, this is the Raiders. This is the way we do business.
Yeah, exactly right. And he basically said that you were not bigger than the team, even though you are a great talent, a great athlete, know all the things that you're capable of doing, knowing all the things you've already done in your career, you're still not better than the team. And they're really trying to build this team. John Gruden and Mike Mayock are trying to build this team kind of like Al Davis did back in the day when the team was really, really successful. And you're right. If Al didn't like you, if Al didn't like something about you, he would either sit you down for a year or he'd get rid of you. And regardless of how much you're talent, how talented you are. Now, if he liked you and he loved you, then he'd probably play you longer than he should have. But, I mean, with that being said, a guy like Antonio Brown would not have been able to butt heads with Al Davis and survive that too long because Al would have won. And yeah, Mike Mayock absolutely resembled that.
All right. Well, Q, we want to thank you so much for joining us. But real quick, before we let you go, again, want to remind everybody that you're host of the Locked On Raiders podcast, but also let's put a little plug in for you for joining us today. You're co-host of Unnecessary Roughness on ESPN Central Texas. Go ahead, put a little plug in for you. Tell us a little bit about what you do on that program.
Yeah, absolutely. We cover everything. Being in Central Texas, we're right in the middle of everything, so we cover the Cowboys like a glove. We're the flagship station of Baylor University, so we cover them like a glove, like Matt Rule a lot. Keep looking out for that name because he will be in the NFL one day. And then we cover all high school sports, cover the NFL really, really well. I have a great time. I'm blessed. I don't know how I ended up in this position, but it's great. And then, like I said, do the Locked On Raiders podcast as well. You can always find me on Twitter at your boy Q254. You'll see everything that I'm getting involved in.
I'm envious. I've been down to Waco, seen those Baylor facilities, again, the brand new stadium, behind the scenes and all that. They got some lovely, at least, opportunities to watch some football and basketball out there in Waco, Texas for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it really, really is. I love covering these teams, everything from high school to college to the pros, and we're right in the middle of everything. Been to the Super Bowl about 5 or 6 times, the draft multiple times. I mean, I'm living my best life. And think about this. I'm a young man that grew up in Pittsburgh, California.
Hey, nothing wrong with that place. That was a great home for me for many, many years. Hey, Q, we want to thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you coming on our program and chatting with us about the Raiders and the soap opera that was One Antonio Brown. Hey, you take care. Best wishes to you.
Absolutely. You guys, too. Anytime you need me, give me a call.
All righty. Thank you so much. Your boy Q, co-host of Unnecessary Roughness on ESPN Central Texas, host of the Locked On Raiders podcast. We got to take a break. By golly, we'll be back after these words here at 1480 KRAE.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
At Platte Valley Bank, we love to see our customers come through the door. Well, we know life can be busy and you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking products with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, mobile deposit, and now digital wallet. At Platte Valley Bank, you can manage your money how you want, when you want. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC. The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, The Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
I have your updated standings of our Week 1 picks, where we ended tied with at least.
Did we reach the Mendoza line?
No, we picked 5, so that's impossible. But we both went 3-2. You were 3-1 after last night's game, or at least before last night's game. I was 2-2. You went, for whatever reason, you chose the Broncos in last night's game. I went with the Raiders, so that's where we stand again, even 3-2. We will have our Week 2 picks coming up this Thursday. Again, 5 games of my choosing, whether it is NFL or collegiate side of things. So looking forward to that. But again, breaking down that game from last night, at least more, again, as we focus more on the Oakland Raiders side of things, Broncos, they look.
Well, let me say this, though, and the reason, again, why I took the Broncos, because of all of the hubbub that was going around about Antonio Brown, and obviously we weren't here Friday.
You kind of just talked yourself out of logically of where you're talking, hey, Mike Mayock is that old Al Davis and is going to shift focus of that team away from the off-field drama, and it's not like they did that. And clearly it did not affect the Raiders last night, coming away again 24-16 over the at least Denver Broncos at home.
I think last night was more of an emotional win for the Raiders because of that crowd. And again, you got to understand this too, Nick, in that Coliseum, because this is the second time around for these fans. A lot of these older fans like myself that went through them leaving to go to Los Angeles. Please don't go. Again, you still have, even though they know that Las Vegas is a reality, you still have a lot of that faithful not wanting you to leave, and they're going to do everything they can.
Well, there's not much they can do.
I understand that, but they're going
to make the most out of this season. Clearly,
they're going to show every bit of love they can to their team. That black hole last night, that was the best I've seen the black hole in years.
And that's what folks are kind of alluding to. What we saw last night is that entire crowd was just energetic, and again, black and silver was in full force there at the Oakland Coliseum. But for the Oakland Raiders, they've addressed that of realizing, hey, it's our last year here in the East Bay. Let's make the most of this. And that's why I've always said that the Oakland Raiders, it's a big question mark team of what they can do. You know, Antonio Brown definitely elevated that team up in the preseason of, okay, now you added an elite wide receiver, another target for Derek Carr. All right, they could do some damage on that offensive side. Defense has been a work in progress, and it's kind of built up there. But, again, you look at what happened last night. 3 sacks there for the Oakland Raiders. Got to Joe Flacco many a time. And, again, that is also, too, going on same vein of that the offensive line for the Denver Broncos is completely awful. It was without a doubt. It has big issues. Denver last night, again, focusing on the Denver Broncos away from the Oakland Raiders. Denver's got a lot of issues. It's going to be a long season for
and he made a very good point too. Let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Joe Flacco is Joe Flacco.
Oh no, let's go to the defensive side. They gave up 24 points. Okay, Chubb wasn't bad last night. Von Miller, a little step slower. But the thing is, the defense under Vic Fangio, which needs to be their bread and butter, wasn't really all that good. Like I said, there was a couple surgically performed drives by Carr last night that the Broncos, they chewed up time.
And again, as we're talking with Q, and again, appreciate him joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today, and looking forward to talking with him at least down in the future, again, getting more Raider at least insight from him. But it is something that the Denver Broncos defense, yes, only allowed 24 points, but again, not getting to Derek Carr. In most of what I saw from Derek Carr wasn't really rushed a whole lot. He wasn't hurried. Again, that offensive line for the Oakland Raiders pretty much kept them in check. It's something that maybe it takes a few games for this Broncos defense that, again, is going fresh off of a few years with what the system was in play under Vance Joseph. Now you got Vic Fangio of running the things and might have a different system than what they are used to. Maybe it's going to take a few games for them to kind of get in that stride, so to speak.
And, with Derek Carr, a little more mobile, and I mean little more than Flacco. Flacco is basically stay in the pocket guy.
I'd say Carr is more comfortable. He's a million times more mobile than what Joe Flacco is.
But
again,
Flacco is very statuesque. Thank you for using that word. And again, too, you saw when the pocket broke down last night on Flacco, even out of the gun, down he went. So the thing is with Joe Flacco, this is probably not one of the better sack teams that you're going to face.
No.
Kansas
but
City.
Again, you allowed 3 so far last night.
I know, but Kansas City.
That's why I'm saying this year
worse.
it's going to be a long season. And it would not surprise me, again, as we're trying to figure out who's number 2, number 3 on this Denver Broncos, at least depth chart.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco might be at a point in time where he might be missing a few games of how many hits he's taken this season. It would not surprise me at this point in time. Again, that offensive line we knew had issues. It's got big issues. It's got a lot of issues that they need to address quickly, or basically their quarterbacks are going down pretty fast.
Flacco's not totally brittle. He's a tad bit brittle. But again, he can't.
Yeah, he's not a stick, but again,
he can't take a season of these type of hits.
No, not especially when you're looking at defenses off. For instance, again, as you mentioned, you're going to see Kansas City twice. You got to see Oakland one more time.
That
already knows how
the
to
Chargers twice. That's just division.
Yeah, again, Chargers defense, it's not all that impressive, but yes, they might be able to sneak through a few times. But again, as you look at Denver Broncos season coming up, again, some of the at least teams that they got to look forward to, the Bears. Bears might be a little upset. Granted, they got to travel out to Denver,
I
but
understand
Bears.
That, but also, too, what did Q say about the line? See, again, the Raiders line is big, okay? Broncos line is good size. It's not big.
Yeah.
And
it's
again,
not
too,
beefy.
Yeah, and matter of fact, they even suffered an injury right out of the box. And the thing is, too, if you are allowing the Raiders to get through, imagine these faster teams that can blitz right through.
Again, whether it is Chicago with the Bears, absolutely. Again, right now as I look, Bears are already favored in this game on the road in Denver, 2.5 points. Then next week after that, you go against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. Good luck against that defense and what we saw, again, slowing down that Chicago offense there in that Thursday night contest. Home against Jacksonville, the Jags, you'll get away with that one. We'll see on that contest. Again, on the road at L.A. against the Chargers, home against the Titans. You think the Titans are going to go easy? I think they can flirt with double-digit sacks if they really wanted to. Titans' defense looks phenomenal. And if you don't clear up things by that point in time, if the Broncos' offensive line is still terrible at that point, that could be disastrous.
Well, we're going to see a couple of things here, and I'm not going to.
But this alluded what we saw here in Game 1 against the Oakland Raiders. Again, a Raiders team that is not anticipated to do a whole lot this season. They're pretty much right behind L.A. and Kansas City in that AFC West. They're not anticipated to do any at least entertain a wild card position here in 2019. You struggled. Well, you allowed this team to take care of business and slow you down. This is against the Oakland Raiders. What is it going to be like against Tennessee, against Kansas City, against the Los Angeles Chargers? This alludes to how long of a season this is going to be for Denver Bronco fans.
But and this is the thing too that it also shows me. You had Vance Joseph in there, defensive specialist. You brought in Vic Fangio, and I think as the season rolls on, and this is just me, spouting out right now, you're going to see that. It's the offense that needs more tending to than the defense.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's clear.
And they haven't really brought in the right pieces for the offense.
Again,
and they need to get somebody running that team that is offensive-minded. Kubiak was trying to be that guy. Actually, Fox, who I thought I disliked him because he just didn't have any defensive knowledge. But the thing is, Kubiak brought stability to both the offense and the defense, and he also had one Peyton Manning. But the thing is,
that kind of helps.
But again, with Vance Joseph and you got Vic Fangio, they're defensive minds. They're not really offense first.
It's not a bad thing to go off of. Again, you go back to that Super Bowl 50 victory for the Broncos. Again, they won that on defense. Again, you did have Peyton Manning, but he was not that elite Peyton Manning. He was not putting up the big-time numbers throughout that season. So, and again, it goes off the old adage of defense wins championships. Well, it's done it for the Broncos, again, of recent back to Super Bowl 50, but it's something that's – and I'll draw the parallels with up here, or at least, down the road with Wyoming Cowboys, where we saw last year of, hey, defense might be able to carry this team. Well, people were holding their kind of hats on this one with the Denver Broncos of this season of maybe this defense that's still up there, that's still got, again, Von Miller, got Chris Harris, you still got those big names, Chubb as well. Maybe that defense can keep this team within games. Well, it did here, at least against the Oakland Raiders, without a doubt, but again, how much longer can this defense stand of being out on the field where they don't show stints of what the Wyoming Cowboys did last year of being tired out?
Well, also
gassing themselves out to the point where, okay, now Oakland, Tennessee, whoever it may be, now just kind of runs up the score.
I still scratched my head, and I still scratch my head, and a lot of folks will agree with me. The obtaining of one Joe Flacco
he's not the end-all be-all, clearly.
That was not my first choice to have the guy run the offense.
He was definitely, again, where people were holding that he could be the savior of this Broncos franchise or at least this team. No.
I mean, you
are seeing what he would. Again, hence the reason why Baltimore was willing to move on with him.
Yeah, they went to Jackson. They went to the younger guy who's a little more craftier than what Joe Flacco. You know, the thing is, too, with the Broncos, offensively, what did they do that was so spectacular? Yeah, Philip Lindsay was good last year. Royce Freeman, I think, could be a good running back. They just don't have the hosses up front.
Even those two last night didn't even amount to a total of 100 yards.
Well, and then also, too, you draft Drew Lock, and we saw Drew Lock one episode last year against the Wyoming Cowboys. Is he a good quarterback?
I think
he can be.
I think he could be a potential future quarterback or at least a franchise for the Broncos.
You got to give him at least a couple of years. I don't think you bring him along like you did Josh and Darnold and Baker Mayfield.
No, again, yeah.
You give him a couple of years understudy.
For Drew Luck, he absolutely needs time to develop, kind of what the Bills were trying to do with Josh Allen. But again, that kind of went haywire due to the injuries. And again, could something like that happen this year with the Broncos where it's – he gets thrusted out there, so to speak, where Flacco may go down. Again, who knows with Hogan? Who knows how things might at least stem with the Broncos again with that offense? Who really knows at this point? But again, I think going back to Drew Lock, he shows stints. He shows the talent that he could be that future franchise quarterback for the Denver Broncos if they develop him correctly and if they don't rush him into scenarios.
And again, to me, not enough attention has been paid to the offense. It's been, again, let's get that defense built, and they have. It's a good defense.
The defense has been established for years.
Yeah, it's not great as it once was. It's very good.
It's definitely trended
downwards. But I think the offense hasn't been paid enough attention to.
I think without a doubt.
And it's trending way
again,
down.
It goes back to what I just said, though, with Denver winning Super Bowl 50, and again, the old football adage of defense wins championships. Mm-hmm. It is basically what Joseph did. Same with Vic Fangio. If they're focusing, that's why they're focusing on the defense. Is they're trying to hold of, hey, you're going to slow down teams. Here's our opportunity, and we have confidence that Flacco, when he's given a shot, could air it out, could drive down our team and get those points that we're not looking to ask 40 points out of you per game, but get us 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns like that.
In Baltimore,
keep us within it.
In Baltimore, you can get away with a 17-16 win. I don't think you can do that in Denver.
No.
I don't think you can win 17-16. The defense will bend, and it will break at times. But also, too,
I think that's going to happen.
I think the offense, even in Denver, is a little less than it was in Baltimore, especially in the receiving core. The receiving core is much better at Baltimore. Sorry. That's my opinion.
Again, Emmanuel Sanders, was Sutton.
And Cortland Sutton, I think he's going to be good, but again.
I mean, they got talent. It's not like they're duds. It is something where, again, you can't.
I'm not saying that at all.
Emmanuel Sanders has a talent. Again, who would I rather take of wide receiver core between Baltimore or Denver? Maybe Denver, but it is kind of a toss-up. But again, Joe Flacco's got the at least tools around him, or at least he's got the talents. He's got specialists there to again get that ball to whoever it may be. Again, whether it's Emmanuel Sanders, you could have the opportunity to throw to a Philip Lindsay, as we talked about. Again, Royce Freeman. You have those specialists out there to help you drive that ball down, get that offense going. But it's just not, for whatever reason, meshing well right now with Joe Flacco at the helm. Will it ever mesh well throughout this entire season? I just don't foresee it.
Well, and I'm just looking here at the stats of Baltimore, with Lamar Jackson, who just ripped open the Miami Dolphins. And again,
don't read into that, because Miami's anticipated to go 0-16.
You got Mark Ingram II, who rushed for over 100 yards. You got Snead, who is a very good receiver. Marquise Brown, also a very good receiver. And Mark Andrews was the number 1 target for one, Jamar Jackson. So,
but again, it's nothing. It's not like saying, "Hey, Baltimore has Antonio Brown on there," or some of the big names. again, they get it done as well. I think that's just more so to Lamar Jackson's credit of what he does there for the Baltimore Ravens. And again, why Baltimore saw that, hey, he's the future, he's got talent, and you're going to be our future franchise quarterback. Hey, Joe Flacco, thanks for the Super Bowl ring, but bye-bye.
Yeah.
You got nothing left for us to offer.
And again, I would think he would not be as much of a help to the Baltimore Ravens. And again, even with looking back at Denver Bronco quarterbacks, Peyton Manning could get away. I know we need to take a break. Peyton Manning could get away with just doing a couple, side steps and stepping up in the pocket and throwing because he had good field of vision. Flacco's a little slow at doing that stuff. Case Keenum did not have that mobility back there. You go with Osweiler. He had no mobility. Trevor Siemian, even Paxton Lynch, all of these quarterbacks that the Broncos threw at us over the last few years, no mobility. And that's you have to be a mobile quarterback in the NFL these days.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Or you're sunk offensively. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with more after these words here at 1480 KRAE. First Tier Bank is proud to team up again with the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. You're invited to join and participate in the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer event on Saturday, September 28th. Registration begins at 10:30 in the morning at Lions Park at the South Picnic Shelter. For more information, contact Janet Lewis at 307-287-6569 or go online to alz.org/walk to learn more. We'll see you Saturday, September 28th at Lions Park for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, brought to you by the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association and First Tier Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is number one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Wyoming football returns to War Memorial Stadium to host Idaho on Saturday, September 14th at 3 p.m. It's Fan Appreciation Day with tickets starting at only $20, and the first 5,000 fans will receive a limited edition replica of War Memorial Stadium. And don't forget the Cowboy Kickoff Concert returns on Friday, September 13th, featuring American authors and special guest, the Mowglis. Get your tickets today at GoWyo.com or call 307-766-7220.
Wyoming Pace has moved to our new location at 1200 East 20th Street and would love to have you join us for a free tour on September 18th from 4 to 7 p.m. This new location will allow us to extend our services to even more of Laramie County's aging population and continue to provide seniors with daily medical and social services. We hope you will join us on September 18th for some light refreshments and a tour of our new facility. For more information, please call 307-773-8112.
We're working hard for your business. I'm AJ Miller at Kia of Cheyenne, and right now you could save on the 2019 Kia Forte. The 2019 Kia Forte is priceless, yet still offers standard features not found on most of its competitors. With Kia Forte, you can charge your phone with available wireless charging, voice command navigation, and 8-inch touchscreen to help sync up your world. Come into Kia of Cheyenne or call 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 78 and winds out of the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Even tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 51. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 73. And on Wednesday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 46.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Closing moments.
I didn't hear you what you were flagging me off air about, but oh well.
You saw what I brought in. Your package is here.
Better late than never.
They were here earlier. They said, obviously we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Anyway,
sure.
A couple of notes here, and it concerns the Giants. I like the one analogy that was put on the pages today about one Bruce Bochy, who's in his retirement, hurrah for the
last
Giants.
month, and we know that they're not making the playoffs.
And
so
everywhere he goes, when they're on the road, they're going to be doing these farewell tours here to Coach
He's got like
Bochy.
a piece of like the Red Sox scoreboard. Dodgers gave him.
And Vin Scully,
I think it was a Sandy Koufax signed jersey.
Yeah, Vinny Scully did a really nice tribute to him. But it's interesting, as of today, his record is 1995 and 2019. He's under the Mendoza line. 1,995 wins, 2019 losses. Oh, by the way, he started managing the Padres in 1995 and continues to manage the Giants through 2019. Interesting. I mean, whoever thought of this.
Amazing how numbers work.
I know, it's amazing. Somebody said, hey, you know what? This is what's going on. It worked
You could
out
easily do that. Again, thanks with technology, I can go, hey, cool, there it is.
I know, but it's one of those deals where
someone that tripped on it and goes, okay, cool.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying they thought of this.
Kind of like this week is like a whole palindrome week of where, again, numbers forward are the same backwards. Since today is 9-1-0-1-9, it's a reverse.
Okay.
I'm just saying people have time on their hands to figure this stuff out.
Well, I'm glad they do. But here's the other thing, too, for the Giants. And you made a very good point, and I thought about it. This might be the only time we do see him. Johnny Cueto, who has been gone, about a season and a half now?
Yeah, again, Tommy John, who's been rehabbing slowly, whether it was back at home, again, in his home country. Eventually, I think he got to the Arizona League about a couple months ago, and then has worked his way up where I think he had one stint with Sacramento in the AAA, and then basically said, all right, cool, you're ready, get on up and play with the Giants. So, and it is something that for Cueto, is it his
farewell tour as well?
Yeah, farewell as a Giant, possibly. There's been rumblings and rumors. Again, obviously, that Giants front office is entertained of a lot of names moving on from the Giants, whether it is Mad Bum, again, Johnny Cueto, Jeff Samardzija. We'll see, but it is good to see him getting back into it. He looked phenomenal against at least Sacramento, but again, that's AAA, so things are going to be a lot different than coming up in at least, to the big time. And we'll see what he's like. We'll see what he's got under the radar post Tommy John.
And it's interesting, too, because here's a guy that's been in the World Series. He's
been there, what, 2 times?
2 times, yeah. But most recently he was the hired gun with Kansas City.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Johnny Cueto, it's not garnering the press. Usually when you have a guy like that coming back who has been a pretty doggone good pitcher.
He's good. He's been consistent with the Giants without a doubt. He's gotten them wins and kept that ERA down. He's been one of the shining spots outside of, again, Madison Bumgarner, where he's kind of gotten his peaks and valleys of recent, again, due to the injuries. But Johnny Cueto, of when he's joined the Giants staff, he's been Mr. Consistency, at least.
Well,
he's gotten the wins.
When you had that staff of Kane, Samardzija, Cueto, Mad Bum, boy, you really had to fight hard to be that 5th starter.
Yeah.
But, now it's kind of a shell of itself. Anyway, I think that's big news. I really do. And like you said, this might be the only time you see him throw, and then they'll shut him down.
Yeah, possibly, but also too, again, Giants have a lot to fight for. It's more so for manager Bruce Bochy to get him win 2,000, which I think they should.
But I think they'll get 5 more wins in 20 games.
You would hope so, but we'll see what happens with this Giants team again. They'll see the Dodgers again. I think take on Arizona. I think
don't they have the Rocks at
I think they'll have Rockies at Oracle.
Yeah, they don't have to go back to Coors anymore. All right, we do want to wrap things up here for